Hello, and today we're doing a webcast on jobs in the energy company SSE. I'm Georgia Jakes.
And I'm Thomas Hogben.
Today we're going to be talking to Colin Penny, who works for SSE. So Colin, who are SSE and what do you do?
Hi there. SSE is currently the 29th largest company in the UK. In the UK we employ around 20,000 people. There are three main parts to our business. The first of all is retail, where we supply 10 million homes in the UK with gas and electricity. So the second part is wholesale, and what that means is the generation that we use to supply these customers. So generation could be through oil or gas or hydroelectric power or wind power. Now currently we have 13,000 megawatts of generation in the UK, and to put that into context, that's enough to supply 5 million homes. The third part of our business is networks. That's a part of the business that I work in. In networks, we look after 130,000 kilometres of overhead lines and underground cables. You'll see these overhead lines dotted about the countryside on wood poles or steel towers. Now, again, those overhead lines and underground cables, if you put them around the world, they'll go around 10 times. What we have to do is we have to maintain these, refurbish them, replace them, look after them. When your power goes out in the middle of the night, we're the guys who go out and do that. So whether it's lashing with rain or 3 feet deep of snow, we'll go out in the middle of the night and we'll put your power back on. What we also do is we have to invest in our network. So over the next 8 years, we're investing £4.5 billion in our network. We're putting new infrastructure in there. That's new overhead lines, new substations. And because of that investment, we need a lot more young people coming into our business to work for us. And hopefully some of the people in the webcast today will be working for us in a few years' time.
For people today moving into SSE, what's the kind of paths out of school into it?
For kids that are in school just now, there are several paths into SSE as a business. They're what we call pipelines. There are three main pipelines just now. The first one is what we call a trainee program. And for the trainee program, we're looking for 2 standard grades, any standard grades. And we're recruiting in July for that. At this point in time, you have to be 17 years old to come into a trainee program. So, and we're recruiting 28 trainees across Caithness, Highland and Moray in July. When these trainees then come into the business, what we then do is we then have we'll take them in, we take them out on site. They'll do a bit of training at our own training schools. They get a mix of sort of on-site and off-site training. After that, then what will happen is then they'll work for ourselves full-time or one of our main contractors, but it's full-time positions into the company. So that's our trainee program, that's our first program. The second one is our apprentice program. Now, again, we've taken sort of 40 or 50 apprentices on in the last few years within the area described, Highland and Moray, Caithness. For apprentices, what we look for is 4 standard grades at 3 or above. So that's English, Maths, and a science or craft subject. So that's the qualifications you need for that. The recruitment for apprentice programme is every March. So once if you've got these qualifications, you then apply in March. What you do after that then is a 4-year apprentice programme. Start off at £9,000 a year. At the end of the 4 years, you're on £21,000. And then all your sort of travel and accommodation when you're away is paid for. That's for all our training programmes. You don't pay for anything. Our third programme is what we call a trainee engineer programme. Now again, what we look for that is we look for 3 hires. You need maths and physics at B and English at C or above naturally. What we then do is when we take these engineers, again the recruitment is always round about March, and again we've taken about 40 trainee engineers on in the last few years. What we then do is we'll then put your 3-year degree. We'll pay for all your tuition fees, all your travel, all your accommodation. When you're at university and you'll come back and work for us. So we tell that to your mum and dad, and they'll be biting my hand off for one of these. It's a gold-plated scheme. It's because we can't get engineers into the business just now. So that's what we call it, a degree level sort of trainee engineers programme. You won't pay for anything. Now again, for trainees coming into that part of the business, you start off at £16,500, and at the end of 4 years, you'll have £30,000 and a car and progression to anywhere in SSE. What I will say is most of our senior managers and engineers within the company have come through the route, what we call from frontline staff. It's not about what qualifications you have, once you're in SSE, it's all about your attitude and who you are. What I say to guys who are working in the SSE just now is the best advert you'll do for yourself is the job you're in. You know, if you do well in the job you're in, you can do well in other positions within SSE, and that's what we look for. It's not all about your academic sort of qualifications, it's about people who are well-rounded, and that goes for a lot for sort of kids coming into school as well. If they're well-rounded, academic qualifications are important, but it's not all about that. It's about, you know, how you interact with other people, what you do outside schools as well. So it's not just about academia, it's, you know, make sure you're a well-rounded individual as well.
We've got one here as well that's come in from one of the schools asking, would you employ someone that hasn't been to college?
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, I mean, 2 of our programmes just now, in fact all 3 of our programmes, our trainee programme just now, you need 2 standard grades to come into that. If you've got 2 standard grades, any standard grades, you can come and work for SSE. Our apprentice programme, 4 standard grades, you come and work for SSE, and then we'll put you through college as well for an SVQ. And our engineers programme, well, you need 3 hires, as I explained for that earlier on. But although we do take on people who have been at college and been at university and they come to SSE after that, the vast majority of people who come into SSE come in before they've been to college. And for a trainee programme, you don't go to college at all. What we're looking for there is somebody who can come in and then can go practically out on site straight away. And that's really what I talked about earlier, with sort of well-rounded individual earlier on. Our trainee programme, that's suited to them because it's about people who've got other skills, not about their intelligence or what qualifications they have. It's about them as a person, their skills, and take them straight into that.
So someone else has asked, what would make a good CV for your company? So what do you think that people should really include?
A good CV is selling yourself. Quite often for our programmes we have a lot of applicants, so it's about getting your highlights to the top, but there's got to be highlights in there. So as I mentioned earlier on, it's all about doing something in your spare time. There's a saying, you know, that sort of work hard, play hard, and that's really important. You know, so you work hard at school, you work hard doing other things as well. So, let's say you might have a part-time job, you might fix things in your spare time. You're a member of different clubs. That's really important that you do things in your spare time and not just sit in front of the TV or play your Xbox or text your friends all the time. That is really important. So it's about getting these other things on your CV to tell us that you're that well-rounded individual that we're looking for, and that's really, really important. One thing I'll say is, if people want to get in touch with SSE or ask any more questions after it, and they want to get in touch with myself via their school, they're more than welcome to do so. I can give them an email address, and if I get any queries through, I'll answer every one of them.
There was quite a good question from the audience just now saying, would you ever consider employing someone who's 16 if they had everything you were looking for?
We have done in the past. When you take people on between 16 and 17, there are various other things you have to do. You really have to take into account the time they're allowed to work. A lot of times when we're taking sort of trainees and apprentices out on site, it's not a 9 to 5 thing, and you may be sort of an hour away, so sometimes you may leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and not get back till 6 o'clock at night. So we have to manage that a bit more. We can't let people of a certain age work more than 37 hours. And although we have done it in the past, and we're not saying we wouldn't do it again, it gives us certain logistical problems. What we find as well is, between 16 and 17, it's quite a long time to sort of mature as well. People mature a lot in that time, so don't be put off by that. Wait until you're 17. Give that time between your 16 and 17 to mature more as an individual. Get those well-rounded skills that you want. It's only a year in your life. There are plenty of years to be working, but use that time wisely, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for all the information. I think that's been a really interesting session for everyone involved, and thank you again for all of the questions that have come through. It's been really interesting for me just to hear about SSE and the opportunities out there. So thanks once again for all your questions, and if there's anything that anyone wants to ask, is there an address that we could that you could give out that we could reach you on?
Yeah, if you want to contact, what to do is you can contact myself via your school. It's colin.Penny, which is PIRIE @sse.com. If you have any questions or queries, give me an email and I guarantee I'll get back to you.
And you mentioned as well that there were some events coming up too?
There's an event, I think, in 2 weeks' time at the UHI in Inverness, the college in Inverness, a recruitment fair there, of which we are part. So I think it's on the 16th of June, I just have to confirm that. But if anybody wants to come along to that, I'm not sure exactly what the context of it yet, but we'll certainly be there. I'll be there. So if anybody wants to come along, have a talk, then do that. I said earlier on, it's important that to do something different. If you're not sure, get in contact with me. I'll do my level best to help you.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much. And as everyone's saying, just get working on your CV and work on those extracurricular activities, and you'll set yourself up well. So thanks very much again for joining in, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.